All right, so good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Mayor's Press Conference. For this week's agenda, we will highlight an exciting presentation to the Police Athletic League, present the winners of the Patriot Awards, announce the upcoming Police Ball, showcase events from around town and a very important announcement from the Erie Playhouse and flagship Niagara League, and provide an update on LERTA. Now I'll turn it over to the Mayor. Mayor?
Thank you, Frank. And this is a very exciting day for me, I can tell you, because I've never had this many people who could stand on their hands at a press conference, all in the room today. It's really incredible. I look forward to seeing that. Under the leadership of Tom Lennox, the Police Athletic League is transforming the relationship between the Erie Police Department and Erie Public School students. The Police Athletic League's work with the Erie Public School students has expanded significantly over the last 3 years. Erie police officers and public school students are building strong relationships that will really transform Erie in the years ahead. This transformation is possible thanks to the leadership of Sergeant Tom Lennox and the work of many police officers, volunteers, and sponsors. Now I'll turn it over to Sergeant Lennox for his brief comments, followed by a check presentation by Erie Gymnastics Center owner and director, Doug Pershin. Tom?
Okay, this will be very quick, I promise. Actually, I just want to start off by thanking the Erie Gymnastics Center. Basically a couple months ago, received a call from Doug Pershin, who's the actual owner and director of Erie Gymnastics. And initially, we didn't make contact at first. These guys can relate. Sometimes when my phone rings, I'm so busy, it might take a day or two to get back. Then I met an individual. She was a CEO. She was a president board, Jill Little. We actually touched base when I was out of town. Explained that there was an upcoming wonderful opportunity for the Police Athletic League, where the annual National Stars and Stripes Invitational, which they do yearly at the Bayfront Convention Center. Essentially, they wanted to know if we'd send our PAL staff down to help work the event, volunteer our time, and basically market and advertise PALs. So thank God that we did that, because we met some wonderful, wonderful people that was affiliated through the Erie Gymnastics Center. And as you can see, we have all the athletes. I think we got nicknames for each and every one of them when we were there throughout the whole weekend. And what was fun during that process, during that event, is us officers, we got to hand out awards to all the gymnasts, and there were 1,700 competitors. So these were 18-hour days. And we actually learned and got an education. One of the most disciplined athletes are sitting right there. The things that these women and men could do is just unbelievable. So we thank you on behalf of the city of Erie and on behalf of the Police Athletic League for actually giving us that invitation. So at this time, I'd like to bring up Doug Pershin and Jill Little to come up and talk a little bit about Erie Gymnastics.
Thank you, and thanks for intro. I'll try and keep it short as well, which is hard for me to do. So, Stars and Stripes is an annual competition we started back in 2001. We decided as a club we were going to host a big gymnastics invitational. The Junker Center at Penn State Barron was just built, and we were one of the first big events that they were going to have up there. We signed the checks for all the deposits on the equipment and such on September 10th, 2001. Next day was 9/11, and that sort of changed our world. We didn't know if we were actually even going to have a competition. We decided, instead of calling it the first annual Groundhog Day Invitational, we decided we were going to call it Stars and Stripes, and we were going to dedicate it to the brave heroes, the fire, the police, military, rescue workers going forward. That first year, we started with 225 athletes. Since then, it has continued to grow and grow and grow over the years, until at which point we actually started making a profit on it. At that point, we decided to start giving back to the community. Every year we pick a charity, and we prefer to pick a local charity. Not that there aren't some good national charities, but we wanted to see the work or the proceeds from what we could generate go right back to the Erie community where we could see and monitor it. So to date now, we're over $100,000 for numerous worthy organizations. And this year, the event has grown to 1,700 athletes. And I thank the Erie Sports Commission, who's here as well, for helping promote that. We moved it around until it came to the beautiful Bayfront Convention Center, and that's where it stands now. This event is the largest co-ed gymnastics competition in the state of Pennsylvania right now, one of the largest on the East Coast. So we brought teams in this year as far away as Puerto Rico that came in for it. So we chose Erie PAL as our organization this year. I heard a little bit through Jill, who said, you got to talk to this guy. And he was really hard to track down. But we were, as I started to research it, because I have to explain it to the people that come, I started researching what Erie PAL has done. And the bridging of the community gap in this polarized world we live in right now, where our police are making an effort to work with the kids and such, and just seeing some of the Facebook posts, the 200 bicycles that they gave away to kids. Some of those kids never had a bicycle before. That's fantastic. It's fantastic. So we were honored to invite Tom and the organization down there, and I have to say they were the most enthusiastic crew that has ever attended. They started doing duties we didn't even need them for. I walked by, and all of a sudden I saw some of the officers. They're announcing awards. They're naming the kids, and that's a difficult task because some of the kids have really difficult names. At any rate, this year we collected $10,000 that we wish to present Tom with today for Erie PAL, and we want to thank him for all that he's doing for the community. Bring that up. What? That's up to him. Tom? You want the gymnast? And if I can bring the gymnast up, because it was their hard work. It was their hard work and a lot of their parents' hard work that made this all possible. So, Tom. Thank you. Guys, spread around in the front here. Okay. Try and look cute.
Thanks, ladies.
Come on, everybody, pile up front here. Can I have the kids hold the check? Yeah. Okay, hold it down in front of you. You're cutting my picture out there. Everybody look at me. 1, 2, 3. Is everybody else on there?
Thanks, ladies. Stick around.
Yep.
So if Tom Lennox or anyone else wants to stand on their hands before they leave the stage, you can go ahead and do that.
All right. Okay. You guys can do. Anybody wants to do a handstand? Go ahead. Just a couple at a time. Here, Bubs, you can do one. I know she can hold one for forever. So do one right here. Mayor. Okay. Ready?
Awesome. Wow.
That's probably never happened on this stage.
Right. Absolutely. That's a first. Great job.
No? What do you have? All right, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Sergeant Lennox and everyone that works in the Police Athletic League. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Doug. We really appreciate the donation. It's a great collaboration that shows how much more we can accomplish when we work together. Thank you for devoting your time and money to this wonderful initiative. Over the course of the last 3 years, Sergeant Lennox and his team have nearly quadrupled the number of students attending and benefiting from the camp. As long as I'm mayor, I can tell you the Police Athletic League is going to continue to grow. Thanks also to Doug Pershin for this donation to the Erie Police Department and the PAL program. And finally, thanks to all police officers who work in the PAL program throughout the school year and during the summer camp. Well, who's going to present it? Oh, okay, we have another check presentation. That was just added here at the last minute. The FOP is also going to make a donation to the Police Athletic League. Thank you.
My name's Justin Stidham. I'm the vice president of Erie FOP Lodge 7. Later on, they're going to talk about the upcoming Policeman's Ball, and we would like to donate a $2,500 check to go towards the Police Athletic League and their ball that's coming up.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Next, I'm very proud that some of our Erie police officers were honored to receive what's called the Patriot Award. Patrolman Nicholas Bernatowicz nominated several members of the police department for a series of awards given out to the Department of Defense in support of the National Guard. So I'd like to invite Chief Spizzarni, Patrolman Bernatowicz, and Susan Robertson to the podium, along with they'll be calling up the award winners. And after the winners receive their award, please stay on stage for a group photo. Chief.
Good morning. My name is Susan Robertson, and I'm here representing the Department of Defense program, ESGR, which is Employer Support for the Guard and Reserve. It's primarily manned by volunteers, and what our goal is to work with service members and employers to make sure that as they switch from military service to their public service or their regular civilian job, that's a smooth transition. And I'm honored to be here today because Officer Bertonich submitted 4 individuals for the Patriot Award. We have a multiple level of awards. The Patriot Award is one where a service member has to actually submit an application and it's reviewed and then the award is presented. We have the 7 Seals Award, which is one where only the state chair can give out. And then the Freedom Award, the Secretary of Defense gives out. That's a high honor. It's given out at the Pentagon at a special service. So today I'm here to do Patriot Awards. And the first one is for Lieutenant Marucci. The second one I have is for Captain Borja. The third Patriot Award is for Deputy Chief Nolan. The fourth Patriot Award I have is for Chief Spizzarni. And to give to the mayor, I also have the 7 Seals Award. This is the one that our state chair approved because of the great service that the city of Erie and the police department does in supporting their military folks and taking care of them while they're here and while they're serving for us.
Before you guys start. Before you leave, come back up here. We're checking this week on the number of officers in the Erie Police Department that have served in the military. Right now, we have 171 sworn officers, 80 of whom have served the United States in the military services. There are currently 5 officers that are still active in the reserve components. Officer Bernanowicz, Bernatovich, he's got a bunch of different names. Officer Graves, any of the other officers that are present that are in the active? All right. Well, we have 5. Officer Graves is, I think, our highest ranking major. We have several sergeants, and we have well, he's not active anymore, but a retired sergeant major. So the Erie Police Department has always supported the military, and their members, part of our family. Almost half the department is veterans. So we'd like to thank all of them. Thank you.
And on behalf of ESGR, I just want to thank them for their military service and their service as police officers for the city of Erie. Thank you.
Thanks very much to Patrolman Bernadowicz, Chief Spizzarni, and Susan Robertson for that presentation. The work the Erie police officers do inside and outside our community is amazing. And Chief, I know you have another exciting announcement that you want to make regarding the upcoming gala. Chief. Real quick, if I can have any of the PAL board members or chiefs of the agencies. Gannon University Police Chief. This is easier one. All right, the Erie Police Department, along with our partnering agencies, would like to announce the return of the Policeman's Ball, Saturday, June 6th at Gannon University's Yale Ballroom. The Policeman's Ball will be an adult gathering with food, fun, and music. The Erie County Sheriff's Department, Erie County District Attorney's Office detectives, Gannon University Police, the Erie School District Police, along with the Police Athletic League, the PAL, and this is members of the board here. Some could not make it, but here are some. We're coming together to put on the Policeman's Ball. The ball will be a fundraiser, bring together law enforcement with members of the public who wish to help support the Police Athletic League. The PAL is a 501c3 nonprofit organization staffed by an all-volunteer board and several local law enforcement agencies who interact with, coach, mentor, and teach students after school. Programming is tailored around the interests and curiosity of kids in concert with the Erie School District GEARS programming standards. PAL's mission is to cultivate strong positive attitudes towards and with law enforcement, breaking down negative barriers that children may feel about police. Since 2016, our PAL program has grown from one school with 35 kids to 7 locations with over 300 kids. A week-long summer camp hosted by Gannon University continues to grow and had 200 kids this past summer, all of whom received a new bicycle. And as you heard, some of them have never had a bicycle before. The Policeman's Ball will serve as a fundraiser to help support the PAL program.
We'll be soliciting donations and sponsorships to continue the great work. All the money raised will go directly to supporting the PAL programming. More details will be released as final plans are confirmed. Any questions can be directed to the PAL email, which is pal@erie.pa.us. Again, that's pal@erie.pa.us. Thank you for supporting the PAL.
Thank you, Chief. And I can tell you, Rhonda and I definitely plan to attend the Policeman's Ball. We're looking forward to it. I encourage all residents to attend the ball. You'll have a great time while you support an incredible, transformative work that's being done by the Police Athletic League. We are just 2 days away from another very active weekend in our world-class downtown and Bayfront. There's something for everyone to do this weekend. To give you all the details, here's our media innovation strategist, Frank Stramilla, along with a couple of special guests. Frank.
Thanks, Mayor. Thanks, everybody. I always get the fun part of the press conference, although today has been a blast. We have gymnastics people giving money to PAL. It's amazing. So it's going to be a beautiful weekend in Erie for events, as the mayor said. There's something for everyone. Theater, comedy, drama, sports, activities for kids. If you want it in Erie, we got it. So first up, in no particular order, is at PACA, the last days of Judas Iscariot. Performances will begin at 8 p.m. all weekend. If you want to learn more about that show, it's pretty good. I saw it last weekend. You can go to paca1505.org and get your tickets and learn more about the show. The Drama Shop is performing Edgar Allan Poe's Nevermore. Performances begin at 8 p.m. and that can be found at dramashop.org. Junior's Last Laugh is back up and running, if you weren't aware, run by Bobby Borgia, a magician and all-time jokester. This weekend, you can find comedian Vicky Barbolik delivering the jokes, and they have a website as well, which is juniorslastlaugh.com. At the historic Warner Theater, get your fill of 1950s rock with Buddy Holly Story, beginning at 7:30 p.m. on Saturday, and you can find tickets there at erieevents.com. And also on Saturday, the Erie Bayhawks are back in action with tip-off happening at 7 p.m., and it's Mardi Gras Day, so they'll have some very cool giveaways. Speaking of Mardi Gras Day, I do have some special guests to bring up. I would like to invite Jade Mitchell, Creative Director of Erie Arts and Culture, Jennifer Snoopko, Director of Development for the flagship Niagara League, and Kate Newbert-Lechner, Executive Director of the Erie Playhouse, to tell us a little bit more about the exciting events for Mardi Gras weekend that I am also participating in. So, ladies.
Thank you, everyone. I'm Jade Mitchell, the Creative Director at Erie Arts and Culture, and we're very, very excited for this unique event. The Erie Playhouse and the flagship Niagara League are two of Erie Arts and Culture's cultural service partners. When we work together, we can have a larger impact in our region overall. Aligning our efforts and then cross-promoting these efforts helps us to reach new and larger audiences in the Erie region. Events like these help position arts and culture as an indispensable value-added sector for the region. We think this is going to be a very exciting and memorable event, and Kate can tell you more about the event itself.
All right, thank you, Jade, and thank you, Frank and Mayor, for welcoming us here today to talk about the first big event that the Maritime Museum and the Playhouse have ever partnered on together. We are so very excited to present a Mardi Gras murder mystery at the Maritime Museum. So we have volunteer Playhouse actors, community members, including a community member right here to my right, who is very familiar to some of you, as well as some of the Niagara crew, including the captain of the Niagara, and some of the Maritime Museum staff that will be performing as a part of this Maritime Murder Mardi Gras mystery. So on Saturday evening, guests will arrive. We'll have about an hour or so to mingle, to have cocktails. There'll be some Mardi Gras themed hors d'oeuvres, and you can interact with the characters that'll be there and kind of learn about what's going on this evening. And then about an hour into the event, there will be a surprise, which you can probably guess what it may be, based on the title Mardi Gras Murder Mystery. And from then on, guests can work as individuals or they can work as teams to try to solve the mystery. They'll be able to interact with the museum as well as the characters that are there to find out information to try to solve the murder. There's also a little bit of a scavenger hunt going on. So you can choose to work as teams, choose to work by yourself. But at the end of the evening, there will be a prize for the winners that would include day sail on the Niagara, as well as special tickets to the Playhouse and maybe some other surprises along the way. So we hope that you're able to join us, and we are so thrilled at the Playhouse to be able to partner with the Maritime Museum on this, and we hope that this leads the way for many more collaborations in the arts and culture sector throughout the region. Thank you.
I just wanted to let everybody know that tickets are available for purchase through the Flagship Niagara League website. Pre-sale orders are available until noon on Saturday. You're welcome to purchase them at the door as well. We hope that you can join us 7 to 10 p.m. Saturday at the Erie Maritime Museum to support two of Erie's lead cultural assets.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Frank, Jennifer, Kate, and Jade. We really appreciate everything going on in Erie this weekend, and certainly there's something to do for every one of us this weekend. As long as there's so many people here, I just want to briefly mention the 2020 census. I'm doing this anytime I speak in front of a group, and the 2020 census is probably the most important thing we'll do for the next 10 years. The reason is two things are determined by the census count. One is how many representatives we have in Washington in the House of Representatives, and the second is how much federal money is shared in the Erie area. Over $600 billion of federal money will be doled out across the country based on the census. We know that in 2010, we know for a fact that thousands of people, thousands with an S on the end, in Erie County were not counted. For every person not counted, our region loses $2,100 per year, every year for the next 10 years. So if we just miss 1,000 people in Erie, we lose $2.1 million in federal funding every year for the next 10 years. So I want to encourage every one of you to please make sure you fill out the census, your family fills out the census and counts everyone. And it's just vital. Again, I think it's the most important thing each one of us can do. I know some people get worried that, I don't want to disclose a lot of things. There's only 9 simple questions you need to answer. And everyone that works for the census takes an oath that they promise they will not disclose any individual information on anyone that fills out a census form. And in fact, no individual information is put out for at least 72 years after the census. The last census data that has been made public was from 1940. So for 72 years, nothing is going to be disclosed. So particularly for new Americans and immigrants, people that might be concerned about law enforcement, there's no risk to doing the census. And what you're doing is ensuring we get our fair share of federal funding in the years ahead. Thank you very much for bearing with me as I talked about that a little bit. Appreciate it. This is the last thing. Over the last week, we had 4 new LRTA application permits, an additional $989,000 in investment in Erie neighborhoods. And this is something I do each week at the end of the press conference to give an update on how LRTA is going. Some of you may be hearing this for the first time. There were 2 new permits issued for residential construction. They were for $29,000 total. Those applications included a new garage and a covered patio and porch for a couple different locations. Then there were 2 new commercial applications. That was for $960,000, and both of those were for interior renovations in existing structures that are going to be used for a different purpose going forward. Now here's the big number. As of yesterday, which was February 19th, it's been 32 weeks since the new LRTA was enacted. That was on July 3rd of 2019. We've now had 102 LRTA applications with a total investment in Erie of $28,616,918. My goal is that we continue that pace. It should pick up as we get into construction season, And I want us to have at least $50 million in new construction going on in Erie by 1 year from when this letter was approved, which will be July 3rd of 2020. I want to thank you all for your attendance at today's press conference. Thanks for being here. Thanks for standing on your hands. That's the first time it's ever happened at a press conference. And everyone have a great day. And everyone who spoke is going to be available for media interviews now. Thanks very much.